I'm doing it, CrossMomentum, and as it's almost certainly the biggest mod I've covered to date, excluding the OLDC, I'm going to split it into two parts. This first part will cover the general changes the mod makes, while the second part will cover the individual changes to each character, as well as a final score. Now that's out of the way, let's begin. As you may have guessed from the title, everything included in this mod is designed to help keep up your momentum throughout a level better than the vanilla game. That's a great plan, but it also means the first step you need to take is improving how momentum works in the first place. Despite how often people praise SRB2 for its momentum physics after such a long period of them basically not existing in the main series, momentum really doesn't play a major part in the game. Every character has a set top speed and acceleration, and unless you're rolling, slopes really don't make a massive difference. So, in CrossMomentum, the first and likely most important change the mod brings is how acceleration and momentum is handled. Now, every character takes longer to reach their natural top speed, which incentivizes rolling down slopes to reach that speed more quickly. Luckily, top speeds also seem much higher, so the effect acceleration has on the character is now much more obvious due to it taking more than about a second to reach top speed. There is this weird thing I noticed though, where if you just run without rolling or jumping, characters seem to reach their original top speed, stop accelerating further for a few seconds, then start to continue accelerating again to their new top speed. I'll be honest, I find momentum to be a confusing thing to explain, so these are all very rough appropriations of how I feel the changes are noticeable, but what I can say is that they make an already extremely satisfying game to play even more so. These are all baseline changes though, to give CrossMomentum more flexibility to add their new changes in a way that would actually be noticeable. The first of these would be the trick system, which gives every character the ability to rotate left and right after landing on springs. These seemingly innocuous spins will give you a variable speed boost when you land, depending on how many you pulled off, if you land on your feet. However, if you land on your head, you'll trip over and lose all of your current momentum. This system is great, as it gives you something to do while jumping on springs, and unlike a mod like Modern Sonic, which just gives you more boost for essentially pressing a button, there is a risk-reward decision you have to make. Do you go for one more spin and gain an extra level of speed, or do you take it safe and bank the momentum you already have? The one problem with this system is that tricking seems to increase your airtime, which means that in the situation where there is a spring chain, I've often found myself overshooting the next in the chain and falling, often to my death. Quick editor's note here, after rereading the script, I think this is due to the momentum changes and not the tricks, but I'll keep it in this section anyway, just in case. The other major change you'll probably have heard about when people talk about this mod is the addition of the hyperform. I'll talk about each character's individual transformations in part 2, but for this video, all you need to know is that hyperforms require 150 rings. That might sound steep, but the improvement each character gets is frankly busted. A bit strange they didn't add that 2 rings a second drain the original transformation had, but that just means you get even more time in this form. Finally, the mod added a bunch of smaller quality of life changes. Each character is slightly hue shifted, although I found the only characters I really noticed it in were Tails and Knuckles. It mostly makes the shading a little more artistic, as shadows get a lot more sage and colours than the original sprite had. Airwalking is removed, just because Frostykin, the creator, didn't like it, and the characters can now walk on water. That might sound like a big change, but 1, no area really has a large enough pool of water to make this necessary, and 2, it's quite hard to reach the speed required. I know this is a bit of a sudden end to the video, but we'll discuss character changes in part 2, so for now, ciao.